Welcome back, Den Dwellers. We're going to have an in depth talk about why modern horror isn't as good as old, and old horror will always reign supreme. It's time to get at it. And we are back at it, my friends, my fam, my Den Dwellers. We got a good one today. Something that it's always been on my mind. I've always wanted to talk about. Just why modern horror just isn't as good as as the old, you know. I've thought for a long time to myself that, you know, what's happened? What's happened to horror? You know what I'm saying? I think that a big part of what it is that we're trying too hard to make statements instead of just worrying about writing a good film. We're too worried about having some sort of weird, I don't know, motive for it instead of just being like, hey, here's a story. So we're going to just dive into this because I got a few points here that I would enjoy making. But old horror will always reign supreme. You can try to change my mind all you want in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, you know, slash, stab, and hack that like button. Pitter patter. Let's get on at her. First off, we have remakes and reboots. Everything seems to be anymore that it is some sort of spin-off, or not spin-off, I should say, but some sort of remake, reboot, some fucking revamp, some, you know, examples. The new Halloween trilogy, which makes no fucking sense. The first one, Halloween 2018, the way it had set up, it made sense. Like, it's like, okay, that's a good kind of continuation off of the first original. But then they erased the original timeline. The complete timeline I'm not talking about, I'm talking in full. The first one through 2, 3 doesn't count because it doesn't even count Michael or whatever. 4, 5, 6, like all the ones with Michael tie together, pretty much. Don't understand the H2O how, they just kind of she had a son and have a son, but somehow like Jamie Lloyd's son is, just disappeared unless, maybe I've always liked to say maybe it was, Lori's adopted, she took, oh well, you will never know. Someone should do a fan film on it. Somebody. Um, the new Chucky. What's another one? The Netflix Texas Chainsaw. It's just we're just in this period right now of like we're having to erase the original timelines of like already established movies to like make our own shit. Why can't we just make our own shit and be original? Like I said, I'm writing a horror novel. It's really not that hard to be original. It takes a little bit more thought process. It's called You Just Don't Be Lazy, man. Like, horror is some of the most fun shit to write. Like, there's really no super tight parameters. You just have fun with it. You try to build suspense and then just fuck them with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really nothing too get all up in, you know, it's just, we need original ideas again. We do. And the original ideas we get are either fucking boring or the trash. Once in a while, we'll get a good one. Okay. But here as of late, like, all the ones that have been getting a lot of hype, like Sinners, are just like these overhyped mid movies that are just pushed by your casual fan base that think, oh, that was a great vampire film. It's like, it wasn't even about vampires. It's just we're in a weird time of horror right now. That's why I like Shudder, dude. You get some good shit on Shudder. Um, we just need to get back to how it used to be. Let's sit down, come up with some good shit, some good original shit, and be done with it. Why do we have to take the easy route and just take something somebody's already done and then just fucking change it a little bit? It's just it's just lazy, and it just shows that a lot of these writers now, I feel like they they don't have their own creativity or whatever. Like, that's why I like Osgood Perkins, okay? And a lot of people are starting to shit on him, but he's different, right? Like, a lot of his shit doesn't have a lot of that weird, like, he's trying to be original, like Long Legs. He did that one, correct? I think so. If not, correct me. But it, it, a lot of people shit on him and say long leg, whatever. But it was an original concept. That's what I'm for. Let's get the original concepts back, dude. Let's get some shit going. Then try to be a little bit different. That's all I'm asking for. And I think that's what a lot of people are also asking for. We don't want to keep seeing fucking Michael Myers. We're ready for Jason again, but we don't want to keep seeing fucking Michael Myers and fucking Leatherface just redone every year and a half, 2 years. It's getting old. Like, even like, dude, like the new Hellraiser even sucked in my opinion, dude. It's just, and the reason being is coming up is the big reasons in my opinion why. Okay, that the modern horror and these remakes and reboots all just fucking suck. Okay, well, they all don't suck. That's a generalization. All meaning is like the ones I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Sex. I'm fine with having sex in film and horror, especially. Pardon me. Excuse me there. Um, but it's overdone now. For, I think it's just a lazy way for filler and also to get a little shock at the same time. There's not a whole lot there. It's just kind of like, cool, they're fucking. Who cares? They're fucking. Like, you could have spent that time of that 5 minute sex scene on building an actual story. Like, okay, cool. We have dude watching him fuck outside, from outside the window. Okay, cool. You could have set that up any other way. Like, why does it always have to be sex? Going back to the Hellraiser remake, it starts off pretty much with her nasty looking ass fucking her nasty looking ass boyfriend. That's pretty much how it fucking starts. Like, at least with the OG, we got to see like him fucking with the box and shit. And then, like, then it has the kind of it's just that was my big issue. One of my big issues with Sinners. They spent more time with the dumb fucking sex instead of having the vampires in the fucking movie. Why? It's because I feel like it's just lazy filler story writing. I don't know what to do here. I want to speed through this. What's an easy way? Have them fuck. Have them eat her pussy. Like, it's just, it, it's lazy, dude. And it just takes away, especially when you do it, like, Sinners did it multiple times to where it's like, okay, dude, who gives a fuck? I don't care. Cool. You guys want to be a cuck? Go for it. Like, I'm not watching a horror film to watch people fuck. I'm watching horror films to watch for the story, the special effects, and how people get unalived. That's the main three reasons. It's not how many sex scenes and how much tits am I gonna see. It takes away, dude. It takes away. Like, mind you, like over gore does too and shit like of such. But a lot of these sex scenes don't add to anything. It don't add to story. It doesn't add to the character development. It doesn't add to really any of these things that go into writing a fucking good story. Like, I just, it's it's pretty easy to concept to grasp, and I think a lot of people, like I said, also agree with this one. You guys can also, let me know down in the comments what y'all think. But hey, I think that's a big one. Why my like when there was sex back, yeah, it was, but it was meant. You didn't see it. Fucking, it was like short, or it was like it wasn't super detailed, and like it was kind of short, sweet. Like when Jason spears him in hat, whatever spears, like unless you really got into like those trauma films or like some like really like B movie type stuff, you would get a lot of that sex and that nudity and stuff, I feel. But I don't really think like, or you'd have to go out of your way to try to find it. Just picking up a modern, not modern, like a mainstream horror film back then, you weren't going into it expecting a bunch of fucking sex. If you did, it was like, oh, cool, bunch of fucking sex. Now it's people just are like, oh, I don't care, and I think it adds to the story somehow. It's just kind of weird. It's kind of just weird to me. It's just like if you want that, just go watch, just go watch Mattress Actresses, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't need it. Like a good sex scene in a horror film. One of the best ones I feel like is the one in Puppet Master, the very first Puppet Master, where those two psychics are fucking shagging, dude. Shagging. Fucking shagging. And it's creative because they add, you know, the kill in it. Kills, I should say. Um, because she blindfolds dude. Well, they're in the heat of it and he's handcuffed. Well, Leech comes up and starts like kissing on him and like laying fucking leeches. Well, like that's a good setup there. Okay. It's not some lazy, like, let me just stare at him and watch off in the distance and then nothing is going to happen until then we see them leave the cabin and walk like, um, what's a good example of that? Shit. Like, even the first Friday the 13th kind of does it. You see, who is it? Kevin Bacon and Chick banging, and nothing happens while they're doing anything. She's able to get up, leave. He stays there, lights a fucking lights a joint or whatever, and he he gets off after he's laying there for a minute. And then she gets off after she's like walks half naked to the bathroom, to where it's like something should have happened then. It's just like we just had it there for that little bit of filler, which we could have set that up any other way. They could have been doing any other thing, like could have came in and be like, oh, I forgot something, left something. But no, we had to have that sex in there for that shock value. And old 80s slashers really kind of set this whole like that sex trope up, and it just kind of, I don't think it hurt the genre, but it just kind of made it an easy scapegoat for just low hanging fruit writing, which leads me into which low, you know, that low hanging fruit writing then tries to get countered with with the elevation aspect of it. And a lot of these films are starting to really overdo this shit. There has to be some sort of like elevation factor to these movies, to where it's like super slow burn and subject matter of like people, it's having to relate to people's like personal addiction issues, and it's written in ways of like the new Hellraiser. I'm gonna keep referencing this one because I hated it so much. um Ruin the lament configuration completely. Fucking like, so you get to choose what you want. I want to have power. I want to blah blah blah. Well, this chick chooses. I want to stay here because my life is just so much worse than blah 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 blah. I'll just rather be living this. And Pinhead's like, sound like Marge Simpson. Okay, and fucking dude, what? Oh, so like what's there's one about like it was relating the whole thing to fucking addiction. Any Jordan fucking Peele movie, Jesus Christ, he tries to elevate and just turns into a racist piece of shit. God, the fucking Candyman remake was terrible, dude. He had hands on that fucking, just, yeah. A really good elevated films that I really enjoy, like Hereditary was a really good one. Um, it's just there's no happy medium anymore. It's either super fucking just here's sex and just low tier shit, or here's sex with high tier shit with this elevated. I look how fancy of a writer I am. There's no just I'll give you a story. It has to have some asterisk next to the shit. And it's getting so fucking old. It's like, just write the damn story. We don't need some fucking god forsaken message about, oh well, chick's addiction and Hellraiser, that was her thing, and that's what the box was like resembling, and like it's just like, who cares? Who fucking cares? Like Sinners. Well, dude, like Remick, man, like, did you know like Remick, he was like he was an Irish vampire, he was Irish, and like he fled his land and stuff because, like, the British and like exterminating his people. So he came back, and that's why he's Irish, and that's why they made him Irish. That's why Kugley made him Irish, because like guys, because it shows the oppression that are like intertwining it's just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. This was billed as a fucking vampire movie. Give me a fucking vampires. Give me a fucking vampire horror film. The only reason people really like those kind of movies is so they feel like cultured. Like they're like the oh, you like slashers? Those are cheesy. Those I'm above that. I like my snobby elevated horror. I like my snobby stuff. And that's just it's just come on. It's just at a certain point you lose the suspense of it, the horror feel of it. You just kind of get a basic fucking like oh, like I just watched a movie Frogman, for instance. God, that movie was terrible, boring as fuck. Like it was like Blair Witch, but they tried to like elevate it with this like Frogman cryptid dude, and it was like some cult and like yeah, dude, and there's like this like low key love story there and stuff, and like it ended up being like he ended up making it a film because like everybody thought he was crazy, so that's why I went out to like get proof of this Frogman, and like everybody thought he was crazy. It's just like, dude, just write the fucking movie. We spent so long on the fucking. It's just write the fucking movie. Just write the fucking story, dude. That's all we're fucking asking. Which is a perfect segue into political fucking agendas because goddamn, they have to be in every single one now, it seems. The 2020s horror seems like it has to be political agendified. We're talking Dude Peel, like I said, is the worst. Candyman is George Floyd, and every generation has a Candyman. Um, White hate through it. They have to do the whole off the whitey at the end. The cops are bad. Like, did you know? Like, if she says Candyman the first like 2 times in the mirror, and the cop says it the third time, then all the cops die. But not not the one that also said it more. There's a scene in that one where all these white girls or whatever, they're like picking on this. I think she was Asian, and this black girl's like, oh, I don't like this, whatever, and they played Candyman. Well, like they make these fucking white girls so stupid. They stand there and they all get slaughtered in the school bathroom. It is the fucking black girl fucking. It's like it's like happening to them. It's just like, come the fuck on, dude. There's a scene where it's at the end where main character, fucking artist, you know what I'm saying? Um, he's dying facing off with the crazy dude. Whatever. I've only watched this movie once because it's a piece of garbage. I didn't like it. Um, I didn't like it. Well, he's dying in his chick's arms. Okay, and the cops come in and yell for this dude to put his fucking hands up, and they open fire. They just start shooting they start popping the dude. She comes out in like handcuffs because for some reason she's arrested, and she says, and that's where it leads into the like. She says Candyman in the mirror in the rear view as the cops are being dicks. The cops are being racist dicks. And the cops says Candyman. And oh my god, then the Candyman, he slaughters the entire squad that showed up, and she just stands there, and Candyman just lets her get the fuck away from it. It's just like um it's another one that any Jordan Peele movie, anything has related to, or he has his hands on, fucking, it's usually racist piece of shit. Nope. White people trying to make black people slaves. Yeah, dude. We don't need it. Like even the show Hell Motel that was on Shutter. Love the show. But they had to have a fucking, you know, a dude woman in it that had terrible lip filler and just completely fake face. It was almost as fucking terrifying as as in, it's like, damn, dude, terrifying. Yeah, the lesbian couple, yeah, the interracial couple. It's just like, can we just stop? Can we just write the fucking goddamn story? Stop worrying about having some stupid fucking message in it. Just write the fucking story for God's sake. Just write the fucking story. There's no point of plastering the shit in there all the time. That's why a lot of people are shitting on the monkey, but I think that's why a lot of people are shitting on the monkey. It wasn't elevated, and there wasn't enough sex, dude. It was an original concept based off of the short story or whatever. There wasn't a lot of sex. It focused on the monkey the most, which is how it should be, because that's what it's fucking called. It's not called Hal and fucking his estranged son. It's not called that. It's called the fucking monkey. So it's like, let's give us a show or movie about the fucking toy. And they did it well. Oz did it well. But you have all these other movies out here wanting to worry about how many sex scenes and titties or whatever they can fit in there, or how complicated and overcomplicated they can make the plot so they can intertwine your fucking agendas or your stupid little messages in there. People watch movies to get away from reality, right? Same with the reason they play video games. So we don't want it then plastered in our fucking face as we're trying to enjoy ourselves and be entertained. Like at that point we would just keep watching the fucking news or whatever the fuck it was that we were trying to get away from. It's just there has to be a point of like honest conversation on this as well. Just like when it comes to fucking anything, wrestling, politics, there has to be honest conversation, dude. And there's just so much bitching about, oh, it was fucking so basic or it was cheesy. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if it wasn't fucking elevated as shit? It shouldn't need to be. We should watch horror for the horror aspect. If it's a little cheesy, it's a little cheesy. Who gives a shit? Some of the best parts is the cheese. And it's just like it's almost overproduced too, to an extent. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. You guys can let me know down in the comments. But I think that was a good little run through, good little talk. Why, in my opinion, I think old horror will reign supreme, and I really don't think anything really is going to top it. I think it peaked in the 2000, like late 2000s, early 2010s. I think it peaked. I really do. So with that being said, guys, you den dwellers have a good one. Stab, hack, strangle that like button for me. And I will see you all on the next one. Have a good night, guys.